pa rin, exhausted ka na, that leads to stress, and di ka na makatulog na maayos. And then next is too much blue light before going to bed. Okay, you have to make it a habit na pag nakahiga ka sa kama, huwag ka na mag-cellphone. Okay? For example, 10 p.m. mo balak matulog, pag nakahiga ka na ng bandang 9:45, 9:50, okay lang siguro mag-scroll ka mga 2 minutes. But that's it. Mag-scroll ka 2 minutes and then put your phone down because blue light reduces melatonin levels. Pag mababa ang melatonin levels, wala, you will get poor quality sleep. So please, 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 limit your phone time to 5 minutes. 2 to 5 minutes pag nasa kama ka. Hindi yung magsuscroll ka ng 30 minutes to 1 hour habang nakahiga bago ka pa matulog because it will decrease the quality of your sleep. Next naman is drinking alcohol to fall asleep. Madami kasi nagsasabi na, Dok, pampatulog ko kasi ang alak. Talaga? Well, alcohol makes you fall asleep faster, but it destroys the sleep cycle. Okay? Kasi wala naman nagigising. Yung mga umiinom ng alak, pag nagigising sila, hindi naman sila refreshed eh. Nasisira yung sleep cycle nila. Hindi nila nakokompleto yung 4 stages. So ito, according to a research, low amounts of alcohol decreases your sleep quality by 9.3%. And then high amounts of alcohol naman will decrease your sleep quality by 39.2%. So nakalagay dito, high amounts of alcohol is more than 2 drinks para sa lalaki. So 2 drinks, i-measure natin yan siguro sa bottle of beer. So pag more than 2 bottles of beer, ayan, decreased by 39.2% ang sleep quality mo. Para sa babae naman, pag more than 1 bottle of beer, ayan, sirang-sira talaga ang sleep quality mo. So, pag natutulog kasi tayo, dumadaan yan sa isang cycle. One full cycle has 4 stages. And it takes an average of 90 minutes to complete one cycle. At para ma-achieve mo ang full recovery, kailangan mo ng 5 cycles. 5 cycles na tuloy-tuloy para mag-recover ng maayos ang katawan mo at mabigyan ka ng sapat na energy to face the day the next day. So pag umiinom ka kasi ng alak bago ka matulog, ang nangyayari dito, hindi mo nakukumpleto yung 4 na stages na yan. Ang nakokompleto mo lang kalahati. 2 stages lang of sleep ang nakokompleto mo habang tulog ka. So, hindi ka umaabot sa deep sleep, hindi ka umaabot sa REM, Rapid Eye Movement Stage, kung kailan tayo nananaginip. Hindi ka umaabot dyan. So, and these stages, yung mga deep sleep stage, ito yung part na nagre-recover, na nagre-rejuvenate ang katawan natin. Doon sa light sleep stage, hindi nagre-rejuvenate ang katawan dyan. Hindi ka nagre-recover, hindi nare-restore yung mga cells mo, yung mga tissues mo, yung mga muscle mo, hindi yan nag-grow. So, alcohol is not beneficial for sleep kasi light sleep stage ka lang the entire time na natutulog ka. Pero paano nga ba nakakatulog ng maayos yung ibang tao kahit na stress sila? 'Di ba stress is a natural part of life. Like, hindi natin matatakasan yan. But other people are able to manage it because meron silang mind shift power. So they are able to manage their stress efficiently because of their mind shift power instead of fake resilience. Now, dito kasi sa bansa natin, alam kong mahilig tayo sa word na resilient, resilient, resilient. Pero I think mali ang ating definition ng resilience. Tignan nyo to ha. So fake resilience is tiis-tiis na lang. Ganyan talaga ang buhay. Tiisin na lang natin. Ha? Yan bang resilience? Mind shift power is about taking a pause and realigning. Tiis-tiis na lang, mawawala din yan. Talaga? Wag na kasi mag-inarte, ganyan talaga ang buhay, mahihirapan tayong lahat, lahat talaga magdudusa, hindi natin matatanggal yan. No, no, no. You have to honor your feelings. Kasi pag nahihirapan ka, nagsasuffer ka na ubus ka na, that means there's something wrong. Hindi ka naman nag-iinarte just because nahihirapan ka. It means na may kailangan kang baguhin. So kailangan maging honest ka. You have to honor and take ownership of your feelings para ma-identify mo yung root cause. Oh, fake resilience. Push pa more, push lang ng push. Habang bata pa, push lang ng push. We need to adjust with intention. Hindi puwede yung hustle lang tayo ng hustle. Yes, kailangan nating magtrabaho para magkapera, pero not at the expense of our peace of mind. Okay, our peace of mind is still important. Hindi yun pag-iinarte ha. That's not pag-iinarte because when you have peace of mind, you're able to work more. You're able to be more productive. Hindi pwede yung tiis-tiis lang, tiisin na lang, tiisin na lang. Hindi ka na makakain ng maayos, hindi ka na makatulog ng maayos, titiisin mo pa rin. Paano ka magtatrabaho? Paano ka nagkasakit ka, paano ka magtatrabaho? 'Di ba? So that is fake resilience. Now, merong research dito from Ong et al. 2006, Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. Real resilience is linked to adaptive coping, not passive endurance. So ganyan kasi dito sa culture natin sa Pilipinas. Passive endurance. Hayaan na natin 'yan. Magiging okay din 'yan. 'Di ba? Yan yung parang tiis-tiis hanggang sa magically maging okay lahat. But that's not true. Those who take breaks, those who set boundaries, and those who seek help are more resilient long term than those who push through in silence. So kung akala mo nagiging strong ka dahil, ay hindi, sige, sasarilihin ko na lang. Hindi ako magko-complain. Push lang ako ng push kahit nahihirapan ako. Hindi ako magdadrama kasi iisipin nila nag-iinarte ako. Pupush ko to, ilalaban ko to at magiging okay ang lahat. But in the long run, you won't be okay. You will be suffering from chronic stress, and the chronic stress will affect your health because you chose not to take a break, because you chose to deny your feelings, you chose to deny the suffering. At ayan, at the end, nagka-hypertension ka, nagka-diabetes, kasi tiniis mo. That's what happens. But real resilience is about setting the boundaries and taking breaks. Now, another one from Southwick et al. 2014, Neurobiology of Stress, Emotional Flexibility, and the ability, the ability to feel, process, and respond to life's changes rather than ignore or suppress is what defines real resilience. So see, emotional flexibility, you're allowed to feel tired. You're allowed to feel stressed. You're allowed to feel pagod. Ang yung iba kasi hinuhusgahan tayo 'pag sinasabi natin na, "Hala, pagod na ako, nase-stress na ako." Ta's sasabihin nila na, ako nga ito yung pinagdadaanan ko ta's 'di ako nagko-complain." I'm like, it's not a competition kasi we need to rest. Kailangan ng katawan natin ang rest. It's a physiologic need. Kailangan siya. So yung mga pa-strong, yung mga sinusuppress yung paghihirap nila at pagdudusa nila, they're gonna suffer in the end. Sila yung magkakasakit. Because they chose to work overtime kahit walang pay. They chose to work over the weekends just to please the boss. Please na lang ng please araw-araw para lang sa boss. Tapos pag nagkasakit, andun ba yung boss mo para sa'yo? Will your superior be there for you at the ICU? Will they hold your hand? Maghahanap lang sila ng replacement mo if you can't work anymore. So, being resilient is about being emotionally flexible. It's not ignoring your suffering. You have to honor it and then make the necessary adjustments. So that's how other people are able to sleep properly kahit na may stress sila. It's because they have the mind shift power instead of fake resilience. Know when to rest, know when to fight, and know when to walk away. Ang iniisip kasi ng tao pag nagpahinga tayo, tamad tayo. No! Siyempre, too much rest is bad. But too much work is also bad. So there has to be a balance. It's all about maintaining balance and moderation in every aspect of your life. Of course, we need to work. Of course, kailangan natin mag-step up. Kailangan naman talaga yan. Kailangan natin mag-improve, kailangan natin mag-grow. But part of the growth, part of your improvement and development as an individual is also resting. It's managing the stress properly. Hindi yung papatayin mo yung sarili mo just so you will level up at work. That's not how it works. Kasi kawawa ka in the end, kawawa yung kalusugan mo. Wow, masyado namang ano, dramatic naman ito. Pero yeah, I feel strongly about this kasi in in medicine, sa mga doctors, we're very sleep deprived, no? 24 hours work and all that. Kaya I chose not to work in the hospital kasi I cannot adjust to that kind of culture. So that's one of the ways know when to walk away. I walked away kasi hindi ko kaya yun eh. 24 hours, I cannot. So speaking of balance, when it comes to your food, ito yung kailangan yung isipin din kasi. So in every aspect of your life, 'di ba? So pati rin sa kinakain nyo. Ganito dapat ang plato nyo as much as possible. Kalahati niyan dapat fiber. Kailangan may gulay. Tapos 1/4 carbs, carbs mo yung rice, and then 1/4 protein. So kung ano mang protein yan. So wag nyo isipin na masama ang rice ha. Rice is good, but in moderation. Kailangan mo lang siya i-balance with the vegetables. Ang concern kasi natin sa rice, wala siyang micronutrients masyado at wala siyang fiber. So kailangan natin i-balance with fiber by adding vegetables. And then yung protein mo, so kung yung protein mo spam or yung protein mo hotdog, okay lang yun. Pero wag mo kainin on its own. Kailangan may vegetables kasi yung hotdog, yung spam, may protein sila but they don't have fiber, they don't have micronutrients. So you need to balance it out with the vegetables. So, siyempre, tulad nga ng sabi ko kanina, too much rest is also bad. Di naman pwede na tulog ka lang ng tulog, rest ka lang ng rest. We also need to incorporate exercise in our daily routine because 30 minutes of exercise every day reduces heart disease by 40%. Napakalaking reduction nun. So, how do you know that a particular activity is considered exercise? If you're able to achieve a heart rate of 99 beats per minute to 118 beats per minute at nasustain mo ito for 30 minutes. So siguro nadaanan niyo yung post ko na naging controversial. Yung sinabi ko na hindi considered exercise ang gawaing bahay. So the reason why sinabi ko yon is because some people just clean the house once a week. Yung iba twice a week. Okay? Alam ko naman nakakapag-increase yun ng heart rate, nagpapawis kayo. Pero if you do it every day, if you do it every day, 7 days a week, o sige, consider natin na exercise yan. Dami pa ng away sa akin noon. Grabe. Sasamahan nyo. Charit. Okay. Now, all things considered, we go back to the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. Lahat ng ito, kailangan yung bantayan sa buhay ninyo in order for you to develop healthy habits so you can have a wealthy life. Para makatipid kayo and then you can spend your money on travel, you can spend your money on food, experiences, spend your money on your family instead of your hospital bills. So don't forget to balance your meals. Don't forget to have physical activity regularly. Manage your stress. Hindi pwedeng i-ignore ang stress. Kailangan talaga natin ma-manage yan so that we can have restful sleep. And then we also have to let go talaga of the addictive substances. So this includes alcohol, this includes the cigarettes, this includes the vape. And we have to nurture our social connections. So ang ibig sabihin ng nurturing social connections, you have to surround yourself with people who build you up, those who support you, those who align with your values and with your goals. And you build connections with people who are also willing to be there for you at the same level that you will be there for them, who are willing to be as present just as much as you're willing to be present, instead of forcing relationships na alam mo namang hindi talaga mag-work. When you force relationships that don't work out, it will be toxic for you and you will end up with anxiety and depression, and it will be harder to fix the other pillars of lifestyle. All right. So being healthy is not a goal, it is a lifestyle commitment. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Okay, let's go with the questions. Agad-agad.
Thank you
Painisanin.
so much, Doc. Yes, agad yan dahil alam mo na ang dami